This Radhe Radhe Nitin Bhai, Radhe Radhe Pallavi ji, are you there?
Thank you, Sunil ji. Radhe Radhe. Good morning, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita session. Radhe Radhe, Nitin ji, over to you.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you, Pallavi ji, and thank you, Madan Bhai and Sunil Bhai, for a wonderful session, like always. So, Radhe Radhe, a very warm welcome to all of you to today's edition. We've been talking a very interesting topic, talking about pleasures, the different manifestations of lust in form of desires. And today we are going to talk about subconscious. Okay, that plays a key role in what we are discussing right now, because in order for us to harness the power of our intellect, which we spoke about yesterday, it's important to understand, what is it? What are the key influencers for our intellect? And once we understand the mechanics behind it, how does it work, the odds of us influencing it increase many folds. So it's going to be a fascinating discussion around this topic. A very warm welcome. Let me get started by invoking the blessing of God and Guru, like we always do. So let me share my screen. And here we go. I'm going to share it. Hope you're able to see it. No audio video problems, which is a good sign. Just let me know if there is. Okay. So let's get started by invoking the blessings of God and Guru. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam, Kamsa Chanuramardanam, Devaki Paramanandam, Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum, Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. All right. So we were on Shloka 3.42 is what we have been doing. And we have taken a back step because the shloka that we are going to discuss today is going to add to the discussion that we have been having. We spoke about lust, desire, and the intellect part of it. And Lord Krishna in this particular shloka is telling us that why people are not able to make a resolute intellect on this path. What is it that stops them? And this is the shloka that talks about it. And we are going to use it as a reference to take our discussion forward today. Okay. So that is the connect. So don't think we have again gone back, regressed. We are not regressing. We regress progress with regards to shlokas. But when it comes to our spiritual understanding, we are progressing. Okay. So be rest assured about that. The regression is only cosmetic here because it's a 2.44. And I'm going to cite it. You're welcome to follow along. Bhogeshwarya prasak तयापहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न vidhiyate. Okay, we can pick up few hands. My audio is okay, right?
Yeah, so far, right now it is okay. Thank you. Yeah.
So far, that doesn't sound very encouraging. I hope it stays the same. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, just let me know if you see any issues.
Yes. Radhe Radhe, Samji, please go ahead.
भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तयापहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते.
Wonderful. Radhe Radhe.
Sandhya ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Sandhya.
भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तयापहृत चेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते.
Very nice, thank you. Sandhya.
Shyamji, Radhe Radhe, please.
Radhe Radhe Shyamji.
Radhe Radhe. भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तयापहृत चेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धि समाधो न विधीयते. Radhe Radhe.
Wonderful, very nice. Radhe Radhe. Thank you, Shyamji.
Dasohamji, Radhe Radhe.
Dasohamji, sorry about yesterday. We couldn't take you yesterday, Someshji, so please go ahead.
Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam तयापहितचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः न विधीयते।
Thank you.
राधे राधे।
Dinesh ji, Radhe Radhe.
Uday Kumar ji, Radhe Radhe.
Okay,
Please go
last
ahead.
5 hands.
राधे राधे।
Please.
भोग ऐश्वर्य प्रशक्तानां दयापहृत चेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समादो न विधीयते। राधे राधे।
Radhe Radhe. Thank you, Uday Kumar ji.
Riya ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Riya ji.
राधे राधे।
Radhe Radhe.
भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तयापहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समादौ न विधीयते।
Wonderful. Very nice, Riya ji. Radhe Radhe. Okay, last 3 hands.
Meena ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
राधे राधे एवरीवन। भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया प्रहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते। हरे
Very nice.
कृष्ण।
Thank you.
राधे राधे।
Okay. All
Chandra
right.
ji,
Let's quickly pick up all the remaining hands. Last 4.
Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां दयापहरितचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते। Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Chandru ji. Very nice. Radhe Radhe. Okay,
Deepa
last
ji, Radhe Radhe.
last
Please go
3
ahead.
Radhe
hands.
Radhe.
Okay. We'll go with last 3 and then for the sake of time, because we have discussion as well. Last 3.
भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां दयापह्यत चेतसां व्यवस्यात्मिका बुद्धिः समादो न विधीयते।
Very nice.
राधे
Thank
राधे।
you. Radhe Radhe.
Rupa ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
राधे राधे एवरीवन। भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तयापासाक्तनां सॉरी तयापार्हितचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिक बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते।
Vidhiyate. All right. Okay, last hand.
Golab ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Okay, we
Radhe
can
Radhe.
take maybe quickly, if we can, let's quickly do that. Sairam ji and Pallavi ji as well. Yes, please, Golab ji, real quick.
राधे एवरीवन। राधे राधे। प्रसक्तानां तयावहोचेतसां
Vyavasayatmika buddhi.
व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधो न विधीयते।
Thank you, Golab ji. Radhe Radhe. Okay. Sairam ji, please. And then Pallavi ji, you can go ahead as well. I'll try to explain.
Radhe
it. Please
Radhe.
go ahead.
Sairam ji,
राधे
please go
राधे।
ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Sairam.
भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां दयापहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते।
Thank you. All right. So let's get started. Pallavi ji, you wanted to go as well?
Yeah, quickly. I'll just take one.
Yes, please.
भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां दयापहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते।
All right. So, okay, we can afford one more then, but it is the last one. Yes, Lakshmi ji, please go ahead. Real
Yeah,
quick.
thank you so much. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तयापहृतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका buddhi samadhau na vidhiyate. Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Lakshmi ji. Yes, let's get started. So in this shloka, Lord Krishna is saying with their minds deeply attached to worldly pleasures. Oh, Payal, you wanted to recite as well? Go ahead, please, real quick. Last one.
Radhe Radhe,
Last.
Payalji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Yes, Radhe Radhe. Actually, Nitinji, she wants to recite some other shloka. Will that be fine? She.
If she go to which shloka, real quick, which
Yes.
one?
Sarva Dharman Parityaja.
Yes, please go ahead.
Sarva dharma parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayasmi ma chujah.
Wonderful. What's her name? Radhe
Sarah.
Radhe. What's her name?
Sarah.
Sarah. That's nice. She recited the executive statement of Bhagavad Gita. You know, Sarva Dharmam Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraj. Very nice, Sarah. We'd love to hear from you more. Welcome to the session. Radhe Radhe. Thank you very much. All right, so let's get started. In this shloka, Lord Krishna is saying with their minds deeply attached to worldly pleasures, their intellects bewildered by such things, they are unable to possess the resolute determination for success on the path to God. So of course, there is a distraction, right? Which is why our intellect is not unable to possess that resolute determination. There are distractions, and we spoke about the battle that ensues between mind and intellect. And mind goes for there are two kinds of happiness we spoke about, right? That happiness, one is which is prayers, where it is sweet in the beginning, but progressively it becomes poison. And the other one, which is bitter to begin with, but in long run it becomes nectar, which is called Shreyas. Now, Preyas and Shreyas, why do we have tendencies for that? Right? That's the next question. Okay. Am I being dictated by some kind of an auto script which is telling me, hey, go for this or go for that? And at the same time, there are enough examples around us. Of course, those might be in minority, where we see people, they go in for the short-term austerity or pain. There are people who have that clarity right early on in their life. And they don't go for the pleasurable or the shortcuts in their life. What is it that dictates that? So what is that script, is what we are going to go a little deeper into, right? Step by step. Our mind has a tendency to go for praise kind of a sukh. And today we are going to uncover another fascinating aspect about our own self, which our scriptures only can tell us. And Bhagavad Gita is a gateway to our scriptures, and it's going to touch upon that particular topic we are going to talk about, which Swamiji has explained in greater depth, right? So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about something called subconscious. What is a subconscious mind and how is it created? Okay, this is what we're going to talk about today. And also we'll discover some interesting concepts around this. How does it operate, and some of the chemical reactions or actions or things that it can trigger in our body as well. So let's talk about it. Now, we spoke about this. Okay, here's a lady. She's gone to sleep, right? And in her dream, she's dreaming. She sees a ghost. Okay, a ghost comes in her dreams. And then the dream goes a little further. Okay, she carries on with that dream until that ghost starts chasing her, and she starts running from that ghost. Okay, but the ghost is relentless. It continues chasing it until she reaches a cliff, and she's barely hanging by that cliff, right? She almost falls and hanging on to that cliff, and she is very, very scared. Okay. And in that moment of scare, right, we all feel that during the dreams it happens. They are, I think statistically, it's a pretty interesting number, although not much. A lot of people, they have a silent heart attack. Why? Because they're just falling down and they're not able to take that. So dreams can be like that. So in that dream, because this ghost is almost there, and she asked this ghost, now what are you going to do with me? And the ghost replies, classic, he said, it's your dream. You tell me, what should I do with you? Okay. It's her dream. She is dreaming it. So the concept here is we are creating our reality. Okay. The ghost or the demons that we confront, of course, we are creating it. One is the law of karma, of course, right? That real ghost that comes and stares us at the face. The other aspect of it is our mind, which creates fears, anxieties, situations, speculations, certain tendencies that we have. Who's creating that ghost? We only are creating it. How are we creating it? Constantly. Okay, every moment we are creating a ghost for ourselves. Okay, and that story we are writing, and that is what we are going to get into today. Okay, so let's get started on this fascinating topic. Here is our mind. A quick recap of what we have been discussing. We spoke about these two, prayers and Shreyas Sukh, right? One is the pleasurable stuff, and the other one is called beneficial stuff. We typically go with pleasure more than the beneficial thing. That is how our senses are wired. So pleasure is much more pleasurable than something which is beneficial, because in order to discern what is beneficial and not go for something which is immediately pleasurable, of course you need to have a lot of wisdom, spiritual wisdom. Then only you can resist that temptation. Very clearly Krishna has stated that. And wisdom is a vaccination. Okay, like we have a COVID vaccination, similarly wisdom is a vaccination for us. It will build immunity from things which are purely pleasurable, which do not add any value to us, and which are actually poison for us in long run. And the only way we can build an immunity is by taking the vaccination of wisdom. And how do we acquire wisdom? One of the ways is, reading Bhagavad Gita like we are doing on a day-to-day basis, and aligning to the bona fide knowledge coming from the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So that is the way. In Greek, there is a word called hedonic, okay, which also goes with pleasurable things. When we seek pleasure, hedonist, they just go for sensory gratification. It is called hedonic pleasure. And eudaimonic is the one which is beneficial, which has some meaning and purpose to the pleasure that you're trying to seek. Okay, not just a sensory gratification alone. So these are the Greek words which map to this pleasurable, beneficial stuff that we spoke about, and prayers, Shreyas concept that we spoke about as well. Okay. Let's move on. Now, what is the most difficult cleaning job in the world? Cleaning our mind. Okay, this is the most difficult job in the world. Right? One of the students, she was asked, she was a Flynn scholar, one of our friends' daughter. She got a scholarship, and one of the questions that the people who were interviewing her, they got very impressed with, by the way, she was 16 or 17 when she got that, was when she was asked this question, what is the most difficult thing in this world, or the biggest challenge confronting this world? And she said, to bring about a change from within. That's the most difficult thing. You keep on bringing in laws, people will keep on finding loopholes to those laws, because the internal change has not happened. And internal change is the cleaning of our mind. Okay. Antakaran Shuddhi is like we say. So this is our mind. To clean it is the most difficult job. Now let's try to understand our mind here. Our mind, 90% of it. Now mind is not brain. I think we've spoken about that concept. That's more of a hardware. Mind is much more subtle machinery that we have. 90% of it, there's a 90% of it. Okay, it's not something that we think as consciousness. Okay, this is subconscious. Subconscious mind is 90% of our mind. Right? Isn't it fascinating? And 10% of it is conscious mind, through which you are actually being able to see things and take decisions and act. Only 10% of it is conscious. 90% of it is subconscious. Now, what is the subconscious mind? That is what we are going to talk about. Overall, the sum of our conscious and subconscious mind is something that we need to clean. And how do you clean something which is already subconscious, right? You're not even aware of it. You tap into it, as we'll see, pretty frequently. And it does influence our conscious mind as well. But how do you clean that? Okay. And what is the role of our subconscious mind in our day-to-day actions is what we're going to look at. But the key is, it's like a tip of an iceberg. What we know is just a tip of an iceberg. That is a conscious mind. Much more bigger part of it is subconscious, which we are not able to see or understand immediately. So let's get into it. You see, this is an ocean. Okay, just trust me, this is an ocean bed. Okay, there's an ocean bed, and there are different layers in that ocean bed. Okay, now if you look at the ocean layer, I don't know why maybe it got a little messed up. 10% of it is what we spoke about, is the conscious part. Okay, that top 10%, it just got misaligned for some reason. And the 90% of it, the below bottom one, is the subconscious mind. Now, through conscious mind, you have emotions such as negativity, fluctuations. Our mind goes up and down. Today you are happy, tomorrow you are upset, sad, depressed, excited, agitated, different fluctuations that happens like a sine wave. They are all coming from your conscious mind. Or for that matter, anger or mood shifts that you feel. They are all coming in from your conscious mind. Now, the interesting fact is that subconscious is actually influencing it as well. Okay. Your subconscious mind actually influences your mood shifts and negativity and fluctuations of your mind. So it's not purely your conscious mind which is at play. Your subconscious has a key role in influencing these emotions that you feel. Okay, I hope you're with me so far. And that is 90% of your mind. 90% is subconscious, 10% is conscious. Now, having said that, let's move on and understand a little more. Now, this is the memory bank. This is a chip. We see the memory chip, which is there in our, cameras, SSDs, and laptops and everything. So here is a memory chip. Okay, these days we get it terabytes, gigabytes, and all that stuff. So this is our mind is like this memory chip, as you can see here. And this memory chip has images. It has experiences. It has grudges. It has phobias. All these things are part of this memory chip that we have. Now, how big is this memory chip? Now, phobias, I'll get into that a little bit. How big is that? This is like you see this, this is a 3-dimensional, by the way. I hope you're able to see, it is a gadha type of a thing. It is bottomless. Okay. It is a bottomless well. There is no limit to it of how much it can store. That is the technology of God. Okay. You think it will saturate? Impossible. You keep on filling it, and we have been filling it since eternity. This is not our first life nor our last. We have been filling it since time eternity, and it keeps on storing it, and it will continue to store it. It has unlimited capacity, no limit. It is bottomless. And all the images, right? Sometimes you dream stuff like that, and you don't know why. You saw a bird one day, and basically, and you maybe had a desire to fly, and then you have a dream that you are flying. So we don't need to read too much into the dream, but it has all the images of so many lifetimes, your experiences, and certain tendencies we have when we look at somebody. That judgment comes about somebody. Where is it coming from? This life, conscious brain is there, but the past life thing is also having a big play in that. Okay, all the experiences that we have had, that the chitta vritti, that subconscious mind, is also influencing our conscious mind there. And we don't know what all store we have made in our past life, based on the kind of thoughts we have generated, kind of actions we have taken, the kind of repetitive thought patterns that we have built. They're all becoming our memory and storehouse, not from one lifetime, from multiple lifetimes, because we repeat with the same mind. Okay, scriptures tell us subtle body, our mind, repeats with us. It's a baggage soul has to carry. Soul cannot get rid of it. Okay, it has to carry it unless you clean the vessel. God will say, continue with this bag, continue to complete your homework. Grudges, you carry that as well. Phobias as well, right? For example, somebody got stuck in a lift, and for some reason they carried that phobia in this life, and they become claustrophobic. So those are the phobias we carry. And some people, they overeat. They keep on gorging. Maybe in one of their lifetimes, they were deprived of a food, and that became a phobia in their head. So they keep on stuffing themselves. Allodoxophobia, we all have. Allodoxophobia is a pretty interesting one, where all of us are worried about what people are going to say, right? सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे 4 लोग? Nobody is immune from that. Why? Because in every life we are worried about those 4 people. I don't know who those 4 people are, but we find every life. Okay, what are they going to say? What will people think? And because we have been social animals all our lives, so this allodoxophobia, where is it coming from? Multiple lifetime. And this life we keep on adding to that phobia as well. So these are not from one lifetime. That is the key message here. And that keeps on feeding our subconscious. Okay. And feeding that subconsciousness, it's actually going to dictate your day-to-day choices as well, day-to-day reactions, the day-to-day stimuli that you feel, because it's a storehouse that is in play. So in the previous slide, like I showed you, these reactions that come to us, negativity, fluctuations, mood shifts, all that stuff, although it is coming from your conscious mind, but your subconscious mind has a big influencer on that. Okay, so this is how important the subconscious is. And if you are roaming around with the subconscious, which is full of negativity, full of bitterness, full of cooked up fears, full of anxiety, just imagine how much baggage you are carrying with yourself, unnecessary baggage that needs to be cleaned up. Right? We are adding more homework to ourselves, more cleaning job to ourselves. Cleaning job is anyway difficult. This much of cleaning takes so much of life. Saints come, and if they are able to clean you this much, they are very happy. And we keep on dirting ourselves, creating more homework. So how difficult this cleaning job is, and we are not making our life any easy for our own self by contributing to that dirt that is already there, by feeding our subconsciousness incorrect things, which will become. So it is like a impression. Every thought that you put into your mind, every phobia unnecessary that you create, anxiety, negativity, ill will, all those will leave an indelible impression on our mind. They are not going away. Some impressions become hard because of repetitive thinking. Some are passing impressions, but they are still a storehouse. So God maintains the, what do you call that, pratyek sankalp. Sankalp means every thought of every second of every lifetime. God maintains that record. That is Hadoop, the big data God has. Okay, whatever technology he uses. And that much, we don't remember what we were thinking yesterday or what thought came to our mind about what person. God knows it for every second. Okay, so he's our witness all the times. So that is how critical this subconscious thing is. Now, moving forward, now conscious mind is aware of these feelings and sentiments affecting it from deep inside, but often unaware of source where from these arise. Sometimes you are surprised, right? Oh my God, why did this thought come to my mind? What kind of a mind I have. Conscious mind is getting that thought, but it is not aware of it because it is coming. The source is subconscious. And other interesting thing about this is that subconscious mind is like a child. Why like a child? See, we spoke about mind being like a child, stubborn child, but this child is in a slightly different context. Why it is a child is because although it holds memories and creates sentiments, the sentiments that you feel, it is a storehouse of memories as well. But it cannot logically reason whether they are beneficial or harmful. Its job is just to create those sentiments in you. It doesn't know that whether it is beneficial for me or harmful for me. Whether storing this memory or dwelling upon this memory or thinking about this memory is good. It is agnostic to that. It will do its job like a machine. Input, it will generate the signal. It just keeps on generating those signals or influencing our conscious mind without really caring whether it is good for the soul that is inheriting me, from lifetime to lifetime. It doesn't care. It's just doing its job. Okay. That is why it becomes very, very interesting and important as well to tend to this particular aspect. And it will take probably a discussion of its own on how do we influence it. Now, okay, this is a baggage, but what do we do with this baggage is what we're going to talk about tomorrow. We have an ability to influence it. Now, what does it do end of the day? We have been talking about this concept of mind, intellect, tussle that happens, and we go for pleasurable things. I'll talk a little bit about this topic. Now, end of the day, if your subconscious is generating certain sentiments and certain feelings, intellectually, you have an ability to see whether to ride that thought and translate it into action, energize that thought, take it further, or reject it there only. That choice is always with us through our intellect. Okay. Now, what does it mean? It means that a thought will come to your mind based on part of it's a combination of your consciousness and the subconscious mind. But whether you choose to energize that thought or write that thought or do something about that thought, that choice is still there with you, with your free will, or what your intellect is deciding. However, and now what is that choice? There are 4 kind of choices, right? It's called dose. D stands for dopamine. There are 4 kind of hormones our body goes for. Okay, kicks. Dopamine. Second one is oxytocin, DO. Third is serotonin. And 4 is endomorphin. Okay, let's start with endomorphin. Endomorphin kick is something that you get when you, like athletes, they do some hard work, it masks your pain. You feel good about it. It doesn't pain you. You continue running or continue doing exercise and it gives you a kind of a kick. It is called an endomorphin kick, which is good for our body, for our health, especially if we are habituated to those kind of exercise. So that is the one thing that gives us kick. Our mind gives us kick if we indulge in that activity. Now, the second one is oxytocin. Oxytocin is something which the kick that you get by bonding with each other. Humans are called social animals, right? So when we bond with each other, when we do potlucks, or when we meet some relatives, that is called oxytocin kick that people really like, right? So people who are very social, they are deriving oxytocin kick out of that. Dog is so happy looking at its owner. Dog is getting oxytocin kick as well, looking at the owner, and owner is also getting that, vice versa. Cats don't get it. Cats love their place more than their owner. So if they have to shift, they will reject their owner and choose their place. But that is a social bonding kick that you get through oxytocin, right? The third one is dopamine. Dopamine is the fooling kick, okay, which is what we go for mostly, which is the one we need to be wary of. And mind goes for that also. Okay, dopamine kick is the quick pleasure that you get. That is a dopamine kick, and which is very poisonous, which is what is leading to our downfall. Okay, so dopamine kick by venting anger, by going for a pleasurable thing, not caring whether it is good for us in long run or not, is all dopamine kick. And the fourth one is serotonin, is the highest level of kick, where when the serotonin you get only when you do good. When you do good for somebody, you do a philanthropic act, you help somebody, you give away something in charity. Those are or you have a job satisfaction when you are performing something which you think is of value to somebody. That is what our body generates. So serotonin is something which is really beneficial for us. And you can do good only if you become good. And then only you can feel good. That is our punchline in JK Yoga, right? Be good, do good, and feel good. And that is why. That is because you can go for the highest level of kick, serotonin kick, which you can. And how can you do good without becoming good? Of course not. Everybody is good in their own sense, but technically you cannot really do good without becoming good, because that goodness will also be tainted with selfishness. So when you do selfless act and things like that, that's when you derive that kick. Now, if you train your subconscious and conscious properly, then you can reject the 3 lower kind of kicks and go for the serotonin kick. Okay, and that training part of it is what we are going to talk about tomorrow in more detail, because if our subconsciousness is 90% of our thought, which dictates such a powerful thing, how can we influence it or program it for our benefit is what we are going to talk about, and it is well within our control. We're going to talk about some of the concepts about subconscious brain. Swamiji, being an authority of mind management, the way he has fundamentally broken it down, taking all the aspects of our personality, building blocks of our mind, relating it to our physiological, emotional, and other functions. It's amazing. And tomorrow we're going to talk about how we can program it so that it is beneficial for us and not, taking us further and further away from God and from our spiritual goals. That is what we're going to talk about tomorrow. How do we program our subconscious so that it is influencing our mind in a manner where it is going for the serotonin kick and giving it an incentive to become better, which essentially is harnessing the power of your intellect, which in other words is Buddhi Yoga, which in other word is the power of intellect that Lord Krishna is talking about in this particular shloka, and not go for lowly pleasures. I hope you're able to connect the dots, and that is what we're going to talk about tomorrow. With that, I'd like to open it up for any questions that anybody may have. I know I covered a lot, but it's an interesting topic. At least I find it very interesting. So,
Nitinji, there are a lot of questions coming in the chat.
okay.
If I can take a couple of them.
Sure.
So Samji has asked, what is the difference between self-talk and intentional thinking and deliberate thinking?
We're jumping the gun. Okay, that is out of syllabus for me today. By the way, I'll briefly touch upon it. Self-talk is something, see, we all do self-talk. There's a constant chatter that is going on inside our, okay. The kids do that. If you go to kids who are 3-year-old, 4-year-old in their room, they are talking to themselves, ah, ooh, and playing. Our little one does that even now. And we are very happy when he does that because he doesn't need us. But as we keep growing up, because we acquire so-called sophistication, we don't speak like that because people will say we are mad. And some people choose to be mad regardless, but most people, they become sophisticated. However, that self-talk continues inside. I'm this, I'm good for nothing, I'm a loser, life is lemon for me, like a lemon for me. So that talk is going on inside you. And that constant chatter is actually feeding your mind as well. That is called self-talk. Self-talk is auto. It's going on because it's like breathing. Do you even think it's happening? It's just happening. When you think, you become conscious, it's the pattern start. So similarly, when we become conscious of it, we can influence it. That's what we'll get a little deeper into that. That's where you become deliberate. Deliberate and intentional, I think, are both the same. You deliberately choose your self-talk. First of all, become an observer. What is kind of self-talk? Sportsmen harness it. A lot of people, if you look at, hear their interviews, they talk to themselves and say, stay calm. It's all right. They do that because they understand the value, because your self-talk dictates your actions, and it can change the course of your thinking and what you end up achieving. That is how powerful the self-talk is. But we are not often aware of our self-talk. It's like we don't know whether we are abusing inside, cursing somebody, building negativity, feeding our mind that I'm a loser, I'm good for nothing, my life is, all that stuff is a self-talk. And we all do that. Next time, observe yourself and see what is your self-talk telling you. So we all do that. And people who understand what role it plays, they are able to take control of their self-talk, improve it to an extent that then it becomes a second nature for them to be positive. Swamiji, the other day, he was telling, I was so amazed hearing that from him. He said negativity. So, there are people who test positive for being negative and they stay positive for the rest of their life for staying negative. Okay. Now he said, I was thinking, when was I last, negative thought came to my mind. And he said, I scanned back, like last 10, 20 years, I could not. I mean, amazing. For 20 years, your mind has not produced even one negative thought. Just think of the quality of that mind. How much work would have gone into it? Tapasya, austerity, blessings, combination of all. And our mind is completely out of control, right? If somebody can actually create a mind like that, how beautiful it would be. And one of the topics we'll pick up, I think, probably on Thursday, if I get time, is what is something that you can do in your mind that will be extremely pleasing to God. Okay, that's something we will talk about it in detail. But these are the things. Just imagine the quality of that mind, which does not have an ability to generate a negative thought, any negativity whatsoever for anything. Yeah, what a freedom that would be. Just imagine. And what a nice vessel would it be for God to sit there. We have just cleaned up our drawing room for a guest of honor for us. So that is hard. Okay, we can take a few more questions. I know we have time, so I finished off stuff we have. Yeah.
Sandhya ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. So only 10% of our mind has the ability for logical reasoning. That's right.
Conscious mind, yeah. Subconscious is influencing it. But yes, 10% is the conscious mind. 90% is subconscious.
And how do we distinguish between the conscious mind and intellect?
Conscious mind and intellect, I think your intellect is basically getting influenced with both of them, right? Consciously you make, and some of the things which you have already learned, probably they are already embedded in your, past sanskars, like we say. So sanskars part also do play a role in our decision making, right? So again, what you decide is getting dictated both by your subconscious and conscious. Some people have a natural sanskar, they have aversion to certain things which other people take to as a fish. So basically your intellect is also influenced to a large extent by your subconscious as well. Things that you have already learned. See what tools Brahmaji has for things. If he has to preserve certain things in you, lifetime after lifetime, which Krishna has promised in Bhagavad Gita, or if he has to give you a prarabdha, he has all these tools, right? DNA. If you're supposed to get a prarabdha, a disease, he might dictate it through a DNA. You may have a predisposition to a particular disease. And second, if he has to preserve certain learning, spiritual learnings that you have, he will feed it through your subconscious and give it through that. Or maybe prakatya in your subconscious would happen. I don't know how it happens, but these are all the tools God has to give you that knowledge or pass on that stuff to you from lifetime to lifetime.
And there's a question from Ashutosh ji. Isn't it that our every act is selfish as long as we are not God realized?
True.
Then how can we perform selfless act?
See, selfless, we will continue to be selfish. This is very right. Technically, we will continue to be selfish. We cannot do selfless act, but if you put it on a sliding scale, the closer you are to more on the, weighing heavily on the selfless side, we cannot be completely selfless. That is right. But more we are thinking about others, even if we are deriving a bit of an ego pride around it, it is still better than completely being selfish and thinking about yourself only, right? So we have to tilt the scale more in that favor. But yes, we cannot be totally selfless unless we are saint or God realized or God himself. Because they are siddh, they are cooked, they have attained whatever is there. We have not attained that. So until soul reaches that perfection, it cannot be truly selfless. That is very true, Ashutosh. But we still can tilt the scales, right? If I continue thinking, if they say that if I won't think about myself, who else will? But if that is all I do, then who am I? So we need to keep striking balance and move more towards thinking larger, bigger, expanding our bubble and others as well, serving and stuff like that. That is why seva is very important. It brings in that selflessness, even though it may not be perfect, but still you are tilting the scale towards being selfless as opposed to completely being selfish.
Thank you, Nitinji. Can we take Dasoham ji? Radhe Radhe, please
Yes,
go ahead.
Dasoham ji.
राधे राधे नितिन जी।
Radhe.
मेरा प्रश्न है कि why does Buddha not accept the nritya?
Buddha did not accept whom?
Dance.
Dance?
Yes.
Which dance? Which form of dance?
Funny form.
I don't know. I have no idea. But why would this question come? Buddha did not accept dance.
Yes. You can ask the question from Swami Mukundanand ji.
Okay. Why did Buddha did not accept dance? Okay, I'll ask him, but I didn't understand the reasoning behind that question though. Maybe he was too weak. He was fasting those days, but I can check with him. Okay, why did Buddha not accept dance? Okay, I've never thought about it.
Okay.
No worries.
Radhe Radhe.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rashwan.
Yeah, everyone, I have posted the link to of attendance tracker in the chat box. Please put your comments, feedback, questions, or if you are interested in joining any Seva teams, please do mention in the feedback tracker. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Daswamji, that was the most interesting question I've ever heard. Okay. If you had replaced dance with romance, that would have still made, but dance is like kind of interesting, but I'll still check it out. Okay. Yes, let's move on.
Preeti ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Preeti ji.
Radhe Radhe. So yeah, I did my hypnosis course and it was all about subconscious mind and how you can remove the between conscious mind and subconscious. There's a critical factor and that does not let the it's always there protecting the conscious and subconscious. That's why you are who you are, because of subconscious programming. So hypnosis for temporary reduces the critical factor, so you can go into subconscious mind and make necessary changes.
Right.
And that's what the whole science of hypnosis is all about. And I studied it in very much detail, and it's very healing. If done properly, it can really heal the traumas of the childhood or, programming. It helps heal a lot. So just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And I think there's a doctor called Brian Weiss, I believe. Many lives, many authors. He actually treats a lot of patients using this technique, I think, helping them understand their subconscious and probably doing some life regressions as well. To help them understand what is the genesis of the problem that they're facing and then help them overcome that. So yeah, the scientific community and Western circles are also waking up to some of these things now. But yeah, it is like a vast ocean that we carry from so many lifetimes, right? We don't even know. See, we don't even know our own self, our own mind, how it operates. Until the scriptures tell us there is a vast ocean we are carrying in our head, and it can surprise us anytime. But thank you for sharing that, Preeti ji. And I owe you that framework. Maybe tomorrow session I'll bring it up. Basically, you need to look at any habit in order to break. There are 4 things you need to really focus on. What the benefit that you are getting, what is the negative side of if you continue to do that, right? And what do you stand to lose if you don't do it? And that way you can break that particular habit. So I'll share that framework for you, or probably bring it to the class itself. Okay, let's move on. I see 3 more hands.
Yes.
4 more hands, Preeti, Pallavi ji.
Yes, but there are a lot of questions putting in the chat as well.
Sure.
Yeah, it's very interesting topic today. Chandraji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you, Radhe Radhe. Nitinji, our question was about the conscious mind. It stores the memories, right? They are very harmful, and they actually torment us
subconscious
very much. But why is it just even in the night when you go to sleep, you put your head down on the pillow, and these thoughts, negative thoughts, they just, like you said, there's no limit how much it can store for all the past. They creep up on you, especially at night.
True. See, it's I don't know, night or any day, maybe any time of the day has any bearing on it. But the point here is it really boils down to the quality of our mind. Whatever chintan, contemplation, rumination we have done on thoughts, it just keeps coming back, and which part will get activated at what time, we don't know. So I think the focus should be how we can sanitize our mind, how we can keep on cleaning it, and how we can keep on improving the quality of it, so that it is not a breeding ground for more weeds. Because once you start planting weeds in it, it will bring more of its kind. And if you are especially habituated to thinking about it when you have nothing to do at that point, then it will bring in more of such thoughts. But consciously, systematically, we can desensitize all these patterns through, and then work on it so that we can start improving the quality. And then the quality of thoughts that get generated in your mind, whether it's night or day, would start becoming better. So we only have to work on it. And we have such beautiful tools Swamiji has given us, right? 3S we spoke about: seva, sadhana, satsang. When you have so much of seva and your mind is occupied with positivity, gratitude, and other things, where do you have time for all these negative thoughts? Only people who are able to generate negative thoughts are either they don't have enough work, or they are not productively engaged, or they just have a bad sanskar going on, which they are choosing to write day in and day out. Otherwise, who has time for negativity? If you have work and you are so motivated and you are full of gratitude, you have seva going on, you have satsang going on, and there's so much to do in life. But when we don't have, that's when the mind is devil's workshop, and we make a choice to write those thoughts and sanskars, then even God can't help us, because we are making a conscious choice. He said, okay, be my guest if that's what you want to do.
That's why that meditation at night time is recommended, and it really helps clarify your thoughts and you sleep peacefully.
True, because meditation, you're taking a resolve that I'm going to control my mind. I'm not going to let it run in a direction. Is not. So you are actually harnessing, not only improving your willpower, but also consciously working on cleaning your mind, because you will, and those 10-15 minutes or half an hour where you have taken a resolve to do meditation, it will do the cleaning job. So meditation is the most powerful technique, and Roop Dhyan is the Ramban for that. Thank you, Chandruji. Let's.
Yeah, thank you,
Okay.
Nitinji. A quick question is, does prayers release more dopamine than Shreyas? That's the question in chat.
Shreyas will not release dopamine for you immediately. Prayers is all about dopamine only. It's a lower quality bliss. It thrills but never fulfills. Okay, so dopamine, the symptom of dopamine is it thrills and never fulfills. But we are happy going from thrill to thrill and taking pain in long run for that. So it thrills but never fulfills. That is what dopamine is.
Thank you. Rita ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe, Rita ji.
Radhe Radhe. My question is, like, you said that 4 hormones, right? Dopamine, serotonin, endorphin, and what is the 4th one?
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin. Okay. Okay, and even science also says that we are only using 10% of our mind. Is it because of 90% is subconscious mind, or we are not using it because of the subconscious mind? That's why the people generally, like, whoever is using, their IQ is high, they are using not more than 18% of mind or something.
I don't know, is it because of that reason, or is there a cause and effect kind of a relationship or not, but I can ask Swamiji.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No worries.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Shashi ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Shashi ji.
Radhe Radhe, Nitinji.
Radhe Radhe.
Nitinji, I heard today morning from Maharajji, he was talking about this subject, what we are discussing. So he was saying, if you hold the... Hello?
Yes,
We
I'm
can
here
hear
only.
you.
I was checking something. Yeah.
Hanji. Nitinji, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So Maharajji said, if you are cooking something and you hold the garam chimta, like a tongue, right? So you are not keep on holding that, you say, oh my, how fool I am. I hold the hard tongue. So you will move your hand immediately away, right? You're not keep on holding the hard chimta, right? So the same way, when you are under Maya, you are going to do mistakes. You will do sin. So it doesn't mean that, you start crying about it forever. You realize your mistake, you repent it, you cry to God and ask the forgiveness, and then carry on. If you only keep on holding that same thought, then you will, after the Guru taught you what to do, and you still holding all these negativity, you will never become Mahapurush. You have to keep on moving. So you repent it, shed tears, and ask forgiveness and carry on. As long as you are under Maya, you will do all this. So no big deal. Just rectify it immediately and go onwards.
True. Very true. Yeah, we should not get hung up. Oh my God, what happened? We have to move on, right? And then make a resolve. We'll get better next time. That is the whole idea of continue to making progress rather than getting stuck and get into a guilt trap and all that stuff. So very true. Thank you, Shashiji, for sharing that. Radhe Radhe. Okay.
Thank you.
Please fill out the feedback tracker. Are there any announcements as well?
Yes, there are.
Let's take maybe a couple of more hands and then we can.
Yes. Samji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead. Yeah. Samji has a lot of questions. Sorry, I couldn't take it from chat. Yeah.
Okay. Is it subconscious mind where all the Pratyak Sankalp of Pratikshan of every lifetime stored? And is it in subconscious mind? Okay. Then we sometimes naturally get...
God stores that, not subconscious mind. Okay. Now which he's storing it and probably he gives it to us. Okay. So we don't know that storehouse, complete storehouse is given, part of it is given. I don't know that. Okay. So don't quote me for that. But it's a bottomless pit. I know it for a fact. And where exactly, which Jeremiah store, I don't know. God would know it better.
See, sometimes, yeah, like you mentioned, we naturally get some impressions or we make judgments on few people just by seeing, right? Is it because we had stored certain impressions on that person in past lives, or is it something else? Or is it based on circumstances?
I don't know. God would know, right? What kind of lessons we need. So he will position strategically people around us based on the kind of lessons that he has picked up for us in this life.
But that
Could be
is
anything.
okay, right, Nitinji? But that is okay, right? Suppose if someone had been repeatedly bitter to us, or I mean, someone had repeatedly done wrong to us, when we have got these impressions, they are stored in the subconscious mind, and in this life, we are getting the same impressions on that person, which will keep us away from that person, right? But that is a good thing only.
It's not a person-specific thing, okay? God is not hung up on persons, okay? It's a soul
Even
journey.
circumstances, like
What
even circumstances.
We don't know. We need to focus on things that we control, rather than asking questions about things which could have 10,000 answers, only God knows, right? So it's pointless exercise to talk about what is happening, why is happening. What you can do is the key thing. In spirituality, it's like somebody is giving you a hand and you keep questioning that person. Okay, why you are in a water drowning, and Guru is giving you hand and you're questioning, why am I in water? Why am I in water? First explain me this, that. You're wasting time, right? For Guru and everybody. You focus on what you want to do, other than trying to decipher or get that, this is a very complex equation that we are part of. And if you keep on getting hung up on people, persons, and why this is happening and this situation, all that, there could be tons of answers around it. Point is, you have to deal with the situation. What is there in your hand? You have Purusharth, you have your Kriyaman. Are you utilizing your Kriyaman for your benefit, or are you utilizing your Kriyaman to create more bad sanskars or future prarabdha, which may not be, that is the question. Simplify that equation for yourself. Why worry about so many things, which is anyway a very complex equation, right? Called life. All right. But yeah, if you want to, please put in your question in the feedback tracker.
Yeah.
And
So I was going to request that, because there's so many questions coming in the chat, and I'm
sure.
to make that.
So today's an interesting session. I wanted to,
Yeah.
kind of, So I'm taking a session from a place which is pretty interesting. The first time I'm taking it. Okay, let me show you where it is, because now we are in the fag end of our session. Okay, did I choose that? All right, so you see that? You don't see any noise or anything? What
Is it a bus? What is it? Oh, no. It's
it's one of my friend's car. So Swamiji temple that year, it didn't have a room. So I picked up my friend's car. It has enough petrol in it, but it's fun. No noise, nothing. The what do you call that? The hotspot is working perfectly. Yesterday we had some disturbance, right? But this is one of the first. It's pretty interesting, First time I'm taking it like this, but it has been flawless, right? I mean, no noise or anything like that.
No,
I'll get
it
back
was
now.
perfect.
Okay.
Hats
I'll not
off
freak you
to
out now.
your
Not
dedication.
hats off. It was
Nitinji.
kind of Sanjay was saying. I said it's kind of interesting. I'll also remember this experience, but yeah, it worked out really well. Okay. Anyways, what is the
Thank you
question?
so
Sorry,
much,
you were asking.
Nitinji. Yeah. Can we quickly announce a couple of
Sure, and then we can take, I think Sunilji is there, Manishji is
Yes.
there as well.
Yeah.
We can take that.
So I just want to announce quickly about Swamiji's program, which is going on. Already life transformation program with Swamiji is going on in Seattle from April 29 to May 5th. So 2 more days to go. Please, people who are near Seattle, please do take advantage. And I am sure that everyone is taking advantage. And May 6 to May 14, life transformation with Swamiji in San Jose, California. So that is May 6 to May 14. Please avail this lifetime opportunities. And there are some other announcements about West Coast retreat, which is from May 27 to May 29, and I have posted the link in the chat for it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Pallaviji. Yeah, we have a beautiful life transformation program going on here at Seattle. So I'm lucky to be with Swamiji for the last few days, and today we went to Amazon. It was an amazing experience. Yesterday we were at Microsoft. Amazing speeches, life, the art and science of happiness. It's
Will
an
there be
experience in itself.
videos available or any recordings?
I mean, I do have, but I would rather have our social media team release it officially than me
Yes.
circulating. Once it is released, I will show a few of them and pictures and stuff like that. But it's a privilege to be around Swamiji. Last 2 days, we've been staying at the same place, so it's pretty fascinating just to be around him. So
Amazing.
yes, let's take. I see Sunilji
Definitely
and Manishi.
blessed time.
Yes.
Yeah. If we can take Sunilji. Radhe Radhe
Maybe 5 more
Sunilji. Thank you
minutes.
for
Radhe Radhe,
waiting.
Radhe Radhe, thank you. I just want to, like as Samji asked, and so I just want to tell, yes, Samji, all of the sanskars, like whatever actions is done, they are called sanskars. And the sanskars like remain in the deeper levels of the mind as images. So all of the actions, whatever have been done from infinite lifetime, they are all in the mind, but like say deepest parts of the mind. They are in the mind only. In the English, we don't have that term, but what we call in Sanskrit is Karan Sarir. So from endless lifetimes, whatever actions is done in human body, all those are stored in Karan Sarir. And from there, they come in get fructified. So if you want to imagine Karan Sarir as subconscious mind, yeah. So imagine like, the very deeper layers of subconscious mind has all those sanskars. And all those are stored in a life-wise sequence. It's not random. Action by action and life-wise sequence, all of those are restored. Not even a single sanskar, not even a single sankalpa is missed. Everything is stored in that mind. And like what I have read was like in one of the books from a saint, he had written like from past 50 to 100 lives will have major impact on the conscious mind of this of like say of these lives. So, but I think it's more like a general information, but that's what sort of dominates. Like like past 50 to 100 lives have like a major impact on the conscious mind, and past 10 to 15 lives will like sort of predominate the human mind. And it's all like play of the sanskars. All of how powerful that sanskars will be, it will depend upon how long it's going to impact you, how long it's going to go, and all that. Anyway, it's a very complex thing. It's a very complex issue. Like even when you say conscious, subconscious, these are not like two separate things. You cannot demarcate. It's just one mind. But like the labels are like just different. These are not two separate things, like say orange and apple. You cannot do that. It is one mind. Yeah, it has different levels, but it is still that one mind. So it's like through devotion and all that, we have to go deeper and deeper. And also like there are so many levels of ego. I'll just bring out one point. So when you are in the wakeful stage, like we think with the ego, like so we have the ego and the conscious mind, we think with that. But there is also another ego, like say when you go into deep sleep, the ego that we have, the ego that we use right now, that is sleep in the deep sleep. But if someone calls you, hey, wake up, you wake up. Who is listening at that time? Your ego is asleep. There is another ego at that level. We don't know about it, and that is like called like say psychic self. But there are levels of ego. Ego also has very deeper and deeper levels. So we are just aware at the very basic level of ego. Say like
Yeah.
the ego in the conscious mind.
Thank you, Sunil.
There are like deeper levels if we get to go. So it's complex and all, but as I think Nitin just said, the best thing is just to do devotion and go deeper and experience it by oneself.
Thank you, Sunilji. Beautiful. I think thanks for sharing that. It'll be a very interesting folder structure, right? If it is lifetime by lifetime. Okay, this life, this year, this month, this day, this hour, this second, each thought, how God would be organizing it. Pretty interesting. And Sunilji, I would recommend you to, you have a lot of good inputs to share. You can probably come on one of the sessions and, give a presentation on the topic of your choice. That will be good. I think it will make for a wonderful discussion and a presentation as well. So I would love to see that from you. Any of a topic that you want to say, you can take 5-10 minutes and come over and share it, all the wisdom that you have on, some of the topics that we have. So always a pleasure to hear from you. Okay, we can quickly take, I have 5 more minutes and then I have to attend Swamiji's satsang. So 5 more minutes, let's quickly wrap it up. Maybe a couple of more questions and then tomorrow anyway, we will continue on programming the subconscious part of it and go a little more deeper on this topic. And by the way, I want to remind you, this Friday, no session. It moves to Sunday, which becomes Monday for India and Sunday evening for people here at US. So we get into a Sunday to Thursday routine, Monday to Friday routine. It'll work out. I think we'll get into a rhythm there as well. Okay, maybe 2 more hands we can take real quick.
Yes, Manishji, please go
Okay,
ahead.
3 we can take. We have 3 more new hands, right? So
Radhe Radhe, am I audible?
yes, Manishi.
Nitinji, you're truly a blessed soul to have this opportunity to be near Swamiji, a divine personality. So congratulations. It's very well. So that is just and then to answer Pallaviji's question, there is a JK Yoga Instagram page that has the updated information of Swamiji's Microsoft visit, and Polly will have Amazon visit too. So I think they've been posting it. Then what I wanted to add was, which may help answer some people's question. I heard Swamiji's Hindi lecture this morning on JK Yoga Radio app, and he was talking about the 2 worlds, you know, the one real world outside, and then we have our inner world. And he's talking about the dreams and the thoughts. All these thoughts and dreams are coming because it's in our inner world that we are making up on our own. So he was giving an example of a guy looked at the bird and then he thought about flying. He's like, what if I could be like a bird and fly? So when he went to sleep in his dream, he was flying, and he was flying in his human form. But Swamiji says that all our dreams are not real. They're just world that we make up. And all the thoughts are coming from the stuff we do during the day. So whatever we feed our mind, those thoughts are coming out in your when you're sleeping or subconscious.
Yes, Manishi.
Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, thank you so much. All right, real quick, 2 more hands.
Yeah, thank you, Sunil. Thank you, Manishji. Radhe Radhe, Dayasini ji, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Ashini.
Radhe Radhe. My question is that, according to Freud's iceberg model of mind, there are 3 levels of the mind, like conscious mind, subconscious mind, and unconscious mind. So I just want to know that according to our Vedic scriptures, is the subconscious mind and the unconscious mind same? Because in the Freud's model, they present it in a different way.
Right.
So that's the question.
Swamiji has tackled that question in his book, Mind Management. He said, which Mr. Sigmund Freud, right? He calls it unconscious. He's putting bracketing along with subconscious. So, or maybe just semantics around it, right? But it goes on to explain that aspect, which he might be calling unconscious and Swamiji is calling subconscious, conscious part, that comprises 90% of our decision-making ability that we do, and influences our conscious mind as well, which is generating those thoughts and feelings. So I would not go too much into that semantics, but he has answered that question if you read his Mind Management book.
Yeah, thank you, Nitinji. Sairamji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Sairamji.
Radhe Radhe, Nitinji. I had a quick Kabir ka doha to share.
Yes.
That's probably relevant. It goes something like this. नहाए धोए क्या हुआ जो मन मेल न जाए नहाए धोए क्या हुआ जो मन मेल न जाए मीन सदा जल में रहे धोए भास न जाए भैया धोए भास न जाए. So
beautiful,
like,
Sairamji.
Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, you can explain the meaning as well, Sairamji.
Yeah. What Kabirji is saying is that we take baths and we give importance to maintaining cleanliness on the outside, looking smart, but we never pay attention to cleaning our mind like that. So essentially, we are just like that fish that has always lived in the water. So it's technically bathing all the time. But you take it out of the water and you wash it. You cannot take the bath or the scent out of it. mind is
good.
like that, dirty like that. So we need to focus on cleaning.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. It was a bit of a deja vu moment for us. You reminded us of Manoranjan ji. He always comes up with the Kabir Doha, but thank you for bringing it. And by the way, I'm reading comments. Thank you again, Sairam ji. Priya ji, thank you for sharing that question regarding if Somesh ji are still there. Dasoham ji, why dance was not accepted in Buddhism is because of the monastic way of life. In those days, dance was associated with festivities and not yet an art form. Hence, Buddhists detached. Swamiji can provide guidance on accuracy. I can ask that. So yeah, I think thank you for putting that question in perspective. And I think, yeah, dance came a little probably not accepted in Buddhism, right? And Hanuman Paddhati was definitely not popularized by then, which Swamiji does, right? Hanuman Paddhati, when we dance and do chantings. But I'll check out with accuracy for that. But again, thank you, everybody. I think we have completed our time. Devotional segment will carry on, not tomorrow, but from next week, because I have a hard stop every day. So thank you again for your enthusiastic participation, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Radhe Radhe, and have a blessed day ahead and a great rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thank you again so much, Nitinji, for such an awesome session. Thank you so much for taking out your time in such a busy schedule.
The
And
pleasure is entirely mine.
Radhe Radhe, everyone. Stay blessed. Good evening and good morning to everyone. Stay blessed. Radhe Radhe. See you tomorrow.